Good evening. It is 6 o'clock. I'm calling to order the June 6th, 2023 Fountain City Council meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by American Legion.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. You're almost as good as the third graders up at the mayoral swearing in today. All right, third graders did a good job up there today. The new mayor, his son's in third grade, so their little class came up and led the flag salute, so that was really sweet this morning. Madam Clerk.
Mayor Thompson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Estes.
Here.
Councilmember Hinton.
Here.
Councilmember Corey.
Here.
Councilmember Rick.
Here.
Councilmember Applegate.
Here.
Councilmember Duncan. 6 members present, and Councilmember Duncan did notify staff of her absence.
All right, thank you very much. That takes us on to item 4.1, presentations, Fountain Valley Kiwanis Club. Mr. Taylor, come on down.
Good evening. I'm Tom Taylor from Kiwanis, and I just wanted to introduce you to Kiwanis International, our Fountain Valley Kiwanis team, and myself. And I'd like to have a little.
Oh, it's not on yet. His mic's not on.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Tom Taylor, and I'm with Kiwanis, and I want to introduce our new Fountain Valley Kiwanis team. And can you guys stand up a little right now? Come on, stand up. So, this is our Kiwanis Valley team, our Fountain Valley Kiwanis team, and I'm very proud of them. Kiwanis, and I guess this is the slide thing.
Or you can just say,
Oh, this is a pointer.
just say next and they'll
Next.
turn.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, Kiwanis International is a global community of clubs, members, and partners dedicated to improving the lives of children, one community at a time. It's basically, we're about helping kids and all types of help to kids. We have about 55,000 members ranging from K-Kids, which is an elementary school version of Kiwanis, through Key Club, which is a high school version. Some of you guys may have actually been exposed to Key Clubs, up to our adults. Now, locally, here in Colorado, in Fountain, Colorado Springs area, is part of the Rocky Mountain District, Division 4. And historically, we've only had 6 clubs. These include Monument, Woodland Park, Manitou Springs, Colorado Springs, the Greater Pikes Peak region, and even a Rocky Mountain E Club that was created during COVID when we had to meet via Zoom. But we never had anything that focused on this community until about a year ago, and that's what we did. We started a Fountain Valley Kiwanis team. Next slide. Okay, this picture is a sample of the things that we've done over the past year. Again, we've been active for about a year. The one in the middle with the circle in yellow was our first event, and that was opening day of youth soccer, where we handed out soccer balls to all the soccer teams and water bottles to all the kids playing soccer. You know, kids forget their water bottle or whatever. But since then, we've done at least 20 or so service projects to helping kids, and these are just a sample of some of the things that we've done. We provided backpacks with school supplies to over 1,500 kids. Operation Gobble Gobble Thanksgiving food distribution. We did a lot of stuff that actually helped with food insecurity. We supported Ronald McDonald House with their Volunteer Appreciation Day, Trunk or Treat, Boo at the Zoo, Miracle on Main Street with donations and store manning, Community Night in the Park we supported. We handed out additional school supplies, teddy bears, and popsicles. We gave a $1,500 donation to the Cross Creek BMX Park. We adopted Aga Park, and we had our first work day a couple of weeks ago. We had donation of sports cleats for youth who participate in all sorts of sports. We did Bark in the Park this past wet weekend, and we handed out puppy parfaits. We handed out snacks at Metcalf Park during the playground equipment opening. We donated sports balls to Play COS, and we talked about that before. Maybe that's something we want to start here in Fountain. Essentially what it is, a police car carries soccer balls, basketballs, and footballs, goes out and sees kids in the parks and just basically develops a rapport by playing sports with them and giving them the ball. And we donated hundreds of balls before to other parts of the community. Let's see, donated coats for the Warriors Warehouse Coat Drive. We provided donations to fallen officer Becerra. And we created swag bags for the Fountain Fort Carson High School Trojan Golf Scramble that happened yesterday. And we do a bunch of other things, but that's just a sample of some of the things we've done over the past year. And I placed the picture in the middle of our first event. In that picture, there's only 4 people from Fountain. And we had people from Woodland Park, Colorado Springs, and other places, family and friends, to kind of help make this a success to get something started in Fountain. And that's what Kiwanis is all about. Next slide. So what do? We meet twice a month, the second and fourth Tuesday of each month at 5:30 at Peaks and Pines. We come out and we basically talk about what we're going to do next to help kids. And I call it a meeting. It's not really a meeting, it's a social. And we basically figure out what we're going to do and we act on it. And we only do fun things that help kids. You can check us out on Facebook. That's our address, or you can contact me directly to get more information. But you might ask, well, why work with Kiwanis? And what's nice about Kiwanis, as opposed to just volunteering for some meetup group, Kiwanis provides youth protection training, security background checks, and liability insurance for everything that we do. We can get grants from clubs, Kiwanis International, or the district. Case in point, the $1,500 that we donated to Cross Creek BMX came from a Colorado Springs club that donated. And we take a leadership position in trying to find things that help kids. We don't just sit on our heels and wait for somebody to say, can you help us? We go out and we try to find things. But mostly we join Kiwanis because it's fun. We've got like-minded, givers that want to do the same thing, and we have fun while we do it. We've got some applications if you're interested. And I guarantee it's fun. But please come out to Peaks and Pines one of those times, second or fourth Tuesday, and you'll see why we're so jazzed about this.
You can go to them at 4:30 and then come here. 5:30. I thought it said 4:30.
Well, yeah.
Oh, 5:30.
Well, maybe we'll figure out something. We might figure out a special, city council day. So, but we'll make it work. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
No, but thank you so much for developing a club and being active in our community. There's needs everywhere. And I think for the next couple of years, they're going to be pretty intense. So thank you for anything you can do for the kids.
We're happy to be here, and you'll hear about us, I'm sure.
Yep, thank you.
All right.
All right. All right, that takes us to the Girls of the West, Catherine Toman.
Mayor, members of the council, thank you very much. I answer to a lot of names, but Catherine is not one of them. I'm wearing 3 hats tonight, but even though your agenda says 30 minutes, I promise we won't be anything even close to that. So one of my hats is I'm Chris Whitney. I'm the vice president of Pikes Peak Bus Rodeo. I'm a past president of the Pikes Peak Range Riders, and I'll mention them a little bit to you as well and send you their greetings. And most importantly, I'm the warm-up act for McKenna Norton, who's the Girl of the West, so I will do my work quickly so you can get to her. She is well worth hearing, to say the least. It's good to see you, and we appreciate the opportunity to bring you up to date a little bit on what will be the 2nd annual NFR Open at the Pikes Peak Bus Rodeo, which is a big deal. I think, as many of you know, the Pikes Peak Bus Rodeo's mission since World War II has been to support military families in the Pikes Peak region and to promote Western heritage and culture. Those are the two things we've been doing for a long time. On a personal note, I'm a veteran, as I'm quite sure some of you are as well. So I understand and I appreciate a community that treats its military families the way this one does, and the rodeo is really proud to be a big part of that. As a community, the Pikes Peak region has delivered on both of those missions really successfully for many years, but last year marked a real milestone because last year was the first annual NFR Open at the Pikes Peak Bus Rodeo. What was important about that is that it was a rodeo put on by the Pikes Peak Bus group in partnership with the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, the PRCA, which has been a citizen of this community for a long time and an important organization to say the least. And that rodeo last year, we had champions from 12 circuits all over the United States, champions from a Canadian circuit participate in the rodeo, and those men and women all but sold out the 5 performances that were held over 4 days for last year's NFR Open at the Pikes Peak Bus Rodeo. Along the way, the rodeo awarded $1 million in prizes for the first time, which was terrific, introduced thousands of new people to the sport of rodeo and the tradition of rodeo, gave a significant boost to the area economy, which was nice. We were glad to do that. And most importantly, it enabled us to deliver on our mission to support military families and promote the Western way of life. This year's rodeo will be the second annual, as I mentioned, NFR Open Pikes Peak Bus Rodeo, and this will be even bigger and better. Because of the success of last year's rodeo, we've expanded it to add 2 more performances. So instead of 5 performances over 4 days, we'll have 7 performances over 5 days. We've added a Tuesday evening performance and a Friday matinee, and you'll hear much more about that from McKenna. And this year, we're happy to say that rodeo circuit champions from Mexico will join us. So we'll have 3 nations represented at the rodeo, and it should be terrific. We are looking forward to it. Again, there will be $1 million in prize money, and perhaps as important, for the better part of a week, from July 11 through July 15, the attention of the Pikes Peak region will be focused on the sport and the pageantry, the athleticism, the skill, and the just plain fun of rodeo and its participants, 2-legged and 4-legged. And make no mistake, the 4-legged athletes are pretty impressive. So I will leave it to McKenna to give you more information about that. Let me just for momentarily, as I mentioned, greet you from the Pikes Peak Range Riders. The president would like to have been here this evening, but he couldn't make it, so he dredged up a past president, I guess, to do it. I think many of you are familiar with the Range Riders, about 200 members. We've been around a long, long time. This will be the 75th ride this year, which is important. And the mission of the Range Riders is also twofold, principally to support the rodeo and in so doing provide support to military families and promote Western heritage and traditions. And the Range Riders do most of their charitable work and work in the community through their foundation, the Pikes Peak Range Rider Foundation, which is housed at the Latigo Trails Equestrian Center east of Colorado Springs. And just to give you some idea of what some of those foundation umbrella services are, so you get a little bit of sense of the Range Riders, the foundation is responsible for the Pikes Peak Rangerettes. Some of you may have seen them. This is a terrific equine equestrian drill team of young women ages 12 to 20. And they perform all over the state to support the rodeo and drum up interest in the rodeo. The Pikes Peak Pivots, which is the male equestrian drill team, between you and me, not as impressive as the Pikes Peak Rangerettes, but that's okay. And they do a terrific job too, drumming up interest in the rodeo all over the country. The foundation puts on the Pikes Peak Special Rodeo, which is a terrific event which is put on for youngsters in the Pikes Peak region who have cognitive or physical disabilities and would love to have a chance to do something like a rodeo. And we put on a stick rodeo, and it's terrific. The kids have a fabulous time, and it sure makes us feel good. We support something called Stable Strides, which used to be called the Pikes Peak Therapeutic Riding Center. So they're housed out at Latigo Trails. We put on something called a Day on the Range for boys and girls clubs and youth organizations throughout the Pikes Peak region, so they can come out to Latigo and again participate in a lot of activities and hear from cowboys and cowgirls and just generally have a good Western time and begin to get a little sense of some Western traditions that they might not have been introduced to otherwise. We're obviously very much involved with the street breakfast, which will be on June 21st this year. The range riders always ride out of the street breakfast, and that seems to be something that people enjoy, and we certainly enjoy doing it. And then we're also involved with something called the Pikes Peak Posse. This is an organization that pools money to buy livestock from young 4-H'ers and the like at the El Paso County Fair and at the State Fair. The junior livestock sale is something the Pikes Peak Posse is an active bidder at to raise money for those kids, so they've got money to go to school or whatever it is they'd like to do with it. So basically, the range riders they're about community service and about tradition, and we're very much proud to be a member of this community and be active in those fairs and active with all of you. So I appreciate the opportunity very much, and now let me get out of the way and get you to the main event. Thank you very much.
I don't know if you know, but we have a very small branch of Stable Strides down here in Fountain.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we do.
Terrific.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. Where
Good.
she works just with veterans.
Terrific. Oh, yes. Terrific organization. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Councilmember Estes?
And I'll endorse Stable Strides. I used to ride out there.
Ma'am?
At Stable Strides, I used to ride out there.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Out at Latigo?
Yes.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, so it's an absolutely fabulous program with
Yeah.
the veterans and the kids, everybody.
Yeah.
It's a
There
wonderful,
is,
wonderful program.
I'm an old horse guy, I admit it, but there is something about a horse.
Outside of a horse is good for
Yeah,
the inside of a
it
man.
is, yeah, and there's plenty of medical evidence to support the notion that it does huge amounts of good physically and cognitively because of the connection between the two. So it's terrific. Thank you. I'm glad.
Councilmember Hinton?
Yes, on my bucket list, I'd like to ride a bull for 8 seconds. I'm not sure if I would survive it, but it is on my bucket list to do.
Well, I respect your bucket list, and I can tell you it's not on mine.
I don't know.
Thank you
I'm not
very
even sure
much,
Todd would let
everybody.
me on a horse. Would you, Todd? No, Todd says I break. Okay. I do have,
I think I can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
we'll let you do the little mechanical one
whatever it
on
is.
level 1 or
Yeah.
something. you know.
Mechanical's a little better, yeah. At least the mechanical's not going to turn around and run you over. You know? So- Yes, they do.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
the rodeo, we have them, so yes,
Oh, there you
indeed.
go. All right.
Let us know when
Okay,
you're going
well,
to be
thank
there
you
so
so
we can
much.
come
Let me
watch.
give you
Yeah,
the-
let us know. We come with the phone. You know, nothing's private anymore.
Well, let me give you the star attraction. Thank you so much. Nice to talk with you.
Thank you. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, my name's Corliss Palmer. I'm a 22-year volunteer of the Pikes Peak Bus Rodeo, and as such, I'm the director of the Pikes Peak Bus Girl of the West. So I schedule about 150 appearances every summer, and the girls have to be escorted. So not only do I schedule it, but I also escort them to all of them. So it means we're busy. This is our only the second today, but we went to Cripple Creek this morning. So. And then we have this, so it's great, and we appreciate your interest in having us here. The Girl of the West story began in 1922, so this year we're celebrating 101 years, which is awesome. The first one was Dawn Norris, and her outfit is actually down at the Pioneer Museum from 100 years ago, so that's fun. The Girl of the West is a 2-summer commitment with each girl chosen as the aide. We'll do that on July 13th this year, and she'll become the aide next year. and the following year, the Girl of the West. Unfortunately, our Girl of the West couldn't continue this year, so we just have one, but she's doing amazing. The competition consists of horsemanship, interview, and impromptu speech, which backs off a lot of kids, but it works out, and appearance. And I want to tell you, we have some posters in the back. If you could put them up around town, we would really appreciate that. There's the street breakfast ones and the rodeo. McKenna Norton, this young lady, is the 2023 Girl of the West. She's the 19-year-old daughter of Jeff and Kristen from Black Forest. She has been involved in many realms of the equestrian community all through her life, including Colorado Hunter Jumper Association, Interscholastic Equestrian Association, and she was a member of the Pikes Peak Rangerettes. Last year, she served as the 2022 County Fair Queen. And she is studying agriculture communications at the University of Wyoming. She hopes to have a career in which she can incorporate rodeo with her study. And the mission of the Pikes Peak Bus Rodeo is near and dear to her because her grandfather served in the U.S. Air Force. And she rides a pretty quarter horse named Herbie, so please enjoy her.
Hi, my name is McKenna, and I'm the Girl of the West. I serve as the proud ambassador for the Pikes Peak Bust Rodeo, and I'm so excited to let you know that pro rodeo world champions and rising stars from across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico will all be competing for over $1 million in payouts. And it's all happening at the NFR Open at the Pikes Peak Bust Rodeo, July 11th through the 15th in Colorado Springs. Over 200 contestants will bring their talents to the scenic Norris Penrose Event Center to compete in bareback riding, breakaway roping, steer wrestling, team roping, saddle bronc riding, tie-down roping, barrel racing, and bull riding. The semifinals and finals will be held on Saturday, July 15th, when the National Circuit champions will be crowned. It is important to let you know that the Pikes Peak Bust Rodeo is a very special event for me and my family. It's important to us because of everything it stands for: our Western heritage and Western values, the sport of professional rodeo, and most of all, giving back to our local military and their families. So I am so grateful to be representing this legacy event that brings people together to celebrate all that is good in our country and the growing sport of rodeo, all while honoring the service and sacrifice made by our military and their families. The Pikes Peak Bust Rodeo has proudly been giving back to our local military and families ever since 1946. Our local military will be honored at each performance: U.S. Army, SMDC, and MDA on Tuesday night, Fort Carson and the 4th Infantry Division on Wednesday night, the 302nd Airlift Wing and first responders on Thursday night, Guard and Reserve units and educators on Friday matinee, Space Night on Friday evening, the United States Air Force Academy on Saturday matinee, and NORAD and the U.S. Northcom on Saturday evening. Well, I have so much more to tell you about this year's rodeo. It's going to be incredible. The NFR Open at the Pikes Peak Bust Rodeo will be held July 11th through the 15th, with evening performances Tuesday through Saturday and matinee performances on Friday and Saturday. Yep, that's right. Tuesday evening and Friday matinee are new additions this year due to the demand for more performances after last year's sellouts. That's more performances, more fans, more fun, and 2 more chances to see all the action live and in person. Evening performances will begin at 7 p.m., with matinee performances starting at noon. Grounds open at 10 a.m. for matinee performances and 4 p.m. for evening performances. Arriving early helps to avoid traffic, and there's plenty to do before the rodeo begins, with lots of vendors for shopping, lots of options to grab a bite to eat or something to drink, and plenty of fun to be had in the fan zone, for both kids and grown-ups too. After the rodeo, be sure to stick around for autographs from the contestants, the Rangerettes, State Queens, and the Girl of the West. That's me. Then live music and dancing awaits in the Coors Roadhouse Saloon. I'll be watching for you to wave back at us from our awesome pink Ram truck from Perkins Motors. We'll be heading out all over town to promote our rodeo at businesses, military installations, and community events, and stopping by our generous sponsors who help make our event possible. And speaking of community events, I hope you will join us bright and early on June 21st at the annual Colorado Springs Western Street Breakfast. Enjoy the $5 breakfast prepared and served by active duty military volunteers. Then get ready for the Best in Professional Rodeo at the NFR Open at the Pikes Peak or Bust Rodeo, July 11th through the 15th at the Norris Penrose Event Center in Colorado Springs. Tickets are selling fast, so be sure to get yours today, online at pikespeakerbust.org. I'll see you there.
Thank you. Great job. Thank you very much. Councilmember Estes? Oh, okay. All right. I am always so impressed every year when you young ladies come. Not only do you have beautiful costumes, which that's really nice. I like that shirt this year. But you all just memorize so much and you just deliver it and so eloquently. So thank you very much for all your hard work. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
All right. All right, everybody grab a poster on the way out, huh? All right, thank you. All right, that takes us on to item 4.2, Board, Commissions, and Committee. We have no appointments tonight. Item 5, City Council agenda requests. City Council shall use this time to request any items for future consideration. I'm going to start on my right tonight. Councilmember Applegate.
I don't have anything tonight.
Councilmember Estes.
Nothing this evening.
Councilmember Hinton.
Nothing this evening.
Councilmember Corey.
Nothing tonight.
And Councilmember Rick.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I do have something. One of our residents, Penny Semino, who is here tonight, has noted that Colorado Springs has a public safety oversight committee, and she has asked us to think about it. What I would ask is that we put it on a future agenda so that we can get public input as well as input from Chief Graham and Chief Christiani to consider the item. Not advocating one way or the other, I just would like us to have a discussion.
Personally, I see that more of as a work session item. That could be a huge item to address as a community. I'm not saying we don't address it. To me, that almost becomes a strategic plan item because you really need to plan it really well. But I'd like to, other council members, is that something you would be interested in putting on the agenda or see it as a work session or give staff time to research it? Councilmember Hinton?
I probably give staff more time to research it and then bring it back to the council and then kind of decide from there what we need to move forward on.
Okay.
Same,
Councilmember Corey?
same thing. I would like staff to review this. There's a big difference between City of Fountain and City of Colorado Springs, especially population-wise. So
I agree with that. Yeah, that's a good, yeah. All right, Councilmember Estes?
I agree. I'd like staff to look into this and to meet with Ms. Chimino and figure out, what the goal of it is, what the plan for it would be, because it is a big topic, and that would be an all-night meeting. And so we need to kind of get some parameters on it, but I think it's a worthy discussion.
Yeah, I think it needs a lot more study. It could be very cumbersome and expensive, and it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal, right?
So
Okay.
we need to look into it a lot more.
Okay, so the direction I hear is have staff maybe do some research on it. Scott, what's the best way you'd like to get back with that?
I think, we'll set up a meeting, we'll talk about it a little bit and kind of get an idea of the goals and go from there, and then we'll, it's hard to answer that question tonight. I'm not sure exactly what
Right.
it entails. so.
Okay.
But what I'll do is I'll meet with Ms. Chimino and we'll go from there, and I'll just keep the council informed. We'll do it in a timely manner, though.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right, anything else, Mr. Rick?
No, Madam Mayor, thank you.
All right, thank you. And I don't have any agenda requests tonight either. That takes us to item 6, public to be heard. Citizens may address the council on items that are not on the agenda. Council may not be able to provide an immediate answer, but will direct staff to follow up. Out of respect for the council and others in attendance, please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. I do have one card tonight from Mr. Langley on American Legion happenings. I looked at it really quick and I thought it said happiness for a second. That's why I hesitated. Happy happenings?
Madam Mayor, honored council, John Langley with the American Legion, New Heisley Post 38. I'm the commander. Just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for the ones that came out to our breakfast and the flag raising. We almost ran out of food, didn't quite, but then later on that afternoon, we served over 120 hamburgers and over 100 hot dogs, and people had a good time of fellowshipping and talking amongst each other. Just wanted to let you know a couple of things that we're doing at the post. Right now, we're in the process of raising $9,600. We have a veteran that his daughter has spina bifida. The insurance company is giving the family a wheelchair, but no way to get the wheelchair into the house. So we're raising up $9,600. We're a few $100s away from doing that, and hopefully before long we'll have that ramp put up in their front so that they can get into the house without any problem. The June 14th, we'll be tongue-tied, having a flag retirement. I'm not sure on the time, but I know it's going to be on June 14th. Our scouts are going to be helping out with that. And then I also wanted to let y'all know that our auxiliary is having their fried chicken this Friday from 5 to 7. If you haven't had it, it's great. Come on down and eat some. You'll be happy that you did. And then on the 16th, our riders are having a ribeye dinner, and both of those dinners are $15.
Okay, what night was the ribeye?
The 16th.
16th.
Chicken fried chicken is on the, I don't have my glasses on right now, the 9th, this Friday. Thank you very much for your time.
Excuse me, sir. How far away are you guys for the amount of raising that money for the wheelchair?
About $329.
Can you put me down for 200?
I sure will.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hinton. Thank you. They're going to say he's going to have to borrow the ramp after he rides the bull to get back in his house.
I'll need it.
All right, is there anyone else from the audience under citizen to be heard for anything that's not on the agenda? Is there anyone online?
No one tonight, Madam Mayor, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, that takes us to the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be approved with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which case the item may be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately at the discretion of the council. So we have one item, item 7A on the consent agenda. What would council like to do with that? Councilmember Estes?
Move to approve consent agenda.
Councilmember Applegate?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Please vote.
Six yes, motion carried.
Okay, that takes us on to item 8A, old business. A, second reading of ordinance 1788, an ordinance establishing a new chapter, chapter 9.72 of Title 9, Public Peace, Morals, and Welfare of the Fountain Municipal Code relating to the possession and use of fireworks. And that is anybody coming up?
Lieutenant Racine is here as well, or Commander Racine, excuse me, is here as well. And there's
Well,
no
wait,
changes.
that was an announcement right there. Commander Racine? Oh,
I didn't realize you.
That's okay.
Go ahead, why don't you go
Right.
then?
Yeah, I was going to do this a little bit later, Mayor and Council, but yeah. We promoted Matt yesterday to commander. He'll be the administrative commander, so he's going to handle all of the stuff that I used to do and anything else I decide for him to do. No,
well,
but he's, Matt's.
congratulations. Yeah.
Matt was our most senior lieutenant at the police department. Has been around Fountain and the department and much longer than I have. He's well qualified for the job, and I think you'll be very happy with what he has to offer.
Okay, Commander Racine, come on down.
Including second reading of this ordinance. Yeah.
Right.
Does anybody have any questions on the initial reading that we had, or any changes?
Are there any changes?
No changes.
No changes? Okay. Anybody have any questions after reading it through? Any questions from anyone in the audience? On the ordinance,
No, I think I asked my questions right after the meeting last time, and I just asked him, how does the fines, if a person gets to that top dollar fine, does it increase more? And then he said, well, we just keep coming out and they get that same fine every time they keep coming out. So if it's I think it was the 1,200, was it?
So the original fine is 400. The second fine within 2 years is 800. And basically 3 or more, it's going to be 1,600.
1,600.
And the cap with municipals, 2,650, I think,
That's
is
right.
what you can cap with
Okay.
municipality courts.
So the judge always has the discretion.
Yeah.
Up to that point, so that really just establishes a range for the court.
Okay. All right, yeah, I just wanted to make it, put
so
it on the
4th,
record.
5th, 6th, hopefully we don't get there.
Well-
Would be the 1,600?
I hope we
Would be
don't
the
make-
minimum,
Yeah, I
right?
hope we don't get there. What's that?
Would be the minimum amount
Minimum.
the judge could do, but she could do up to 2,650.
Okay,
Okay,
all right,
good question.
all right, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Anything else? That's it?
Okay, any other questions? And Mr. Trainer?
It's not a question, but this is some information I was going to share later at ex officio, but it ties right into this, so I think it'd be appropriate to share it. We're getting ready to roll out our information campaign on this, and we're going to have a couple directions we're going. There will be, starting immediately, well, continuing immediately, ongoing information about the PPIR events. I want to let everyone know tonight, we still have a lot of tickets left. They've been giving out a lot of tickets, but there's still a lot of free tickets for Fountain residents, so, and they're pretty excited about the feedback they've been getting on it so far. The other thing is, starting next week is phase 1 of an information campaign. Next week's going to be focused on fireworks safety. Following week is going to be focused on the ordinance itself and what that does. PD is going to be kind of heading that up. Following week will be, after that will be general information. I guess the FD is doing some stuff on that. And we're going to continue that messaging, but just wanted the council to know that that will also be ongoing.
There was one that came out today on Facebook to do
Yeah.
with fireworks safety.
Yep.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, the ordinance would, if passed today by council, will take place, it'll be effective Monday. So after that point, I know on the PD side of it, based on some conversations that I've had with individuals, we're going to be targeting specific neighborhoods that have a high probability or a high block party status that we've had in the past. And we're going to be doing some door-to-door flyers and education that outlines our host liability, that outlines the fines and everything else.
could you get each of us about a dozen flyers? Because, man, we can pass them out to people
Yeah,
that we talk to
absolutely.
just to help
I
get the
will have
word
them
around.
dropped off Monday, once this is effective.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, because the more word we can get out there, get some to the chamber, maybe they can put them on their board even. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay, do we have any questions or comments from anybody in the audience? Okay, come on down, state your name for the record, please.
Penny Chimino. My only question was how you got from May 31st to July 6th.
Okay, Penny, can we
Why
have
s-
you speak in the microphone a little bit better so it can get online?
My question was about going from May 31st to July 6th. Why so long?
May 31st to July 6th, and that is the exemptions of where people are allowed to possess and use ignite permissible fireworks within the city. That is when the sales are open per our fire code and per our licensing, is they're allowed to sell from May 31st to July 6th, and that's when the city has allowed, because prior to a few years ago, there was a zero tolerance, 100% ban, and this was the compromise that a lot of municipalities use, is
Okay.
that about 30 to 40-day period to let people celebrate with permissible fireworks.
Right on. Okay,
But
thank you.
that mirrors our fire code and all that.
Right on. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions from anybody in the audience? Anyone online?
No one online, Madam Mayor.
Okay. That being said, what would council like to do with ordinance 1788? Councilmember Applegate.
Okay. I move to approve ordinance 1788 on second reading, as is.
Okay, Councilmember Rick.
Second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for ordinance 1788. Is there any further discussion? Are you just stretching your hand, or are you flashing me a secret signal I'm missing? Todd? Okay. Okay. I'm seeing this down there. Did I miss something? Okay. All right. Okay, seeing none, please vote.
6 yes, motion carried.
All right, thank you. And We had a great conversation with the citizens. I appreciate, again, Chip Penny having that meeting at your building, and all the citizens that wrote emails and things. So that's the way it's supposed to work, is when the citizen has a concern, that you get it, bring it to council. So, alrighty, that takes us on to item 9, new business. Item A, consideration of items removed from the consent agenda. There were none. Item 10, correspondence, comments, and ex officio reports. Mr. Trainer.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. I already hit on the one I wanted to hit on around the fireworks messaging. We have the budget workshop next Tuesday. That'll be our first one. That's a real general discussion just for the council to start thinking about upcoming budget. I hope the council all had an opportunity to sign that PPRTA letter. We're hoping to get that sent out to the member entities. And then just a huge thank you to the city, well, Gordy's gone already, but he really did a heck of a job helping to organize a big service event that we had. We had 22 different projects. Actually, 22 different projects on the list, 20 got worked on last Friday. Just really, we had a lot of great volunteers, a lot of great city employees who volunteered their time to help out with those various projects, and just really appreciated the amount of support for that. So I just want to share that real quick.
Mr. Evans.
You bet. A couple of large CDOT transportation projects that are on everybody's radar here in the city. So we've got a good update today. Indiana should go out to bid here in the next week or two. We very closely became a victim of the clawback effect of what was just done on the debt limit. Our project down here was on that list to claw back our federal money. And we came very, very close to losing that money and in turn that project. So we had we have a great relationship at CDOT that fought for us and got our project to continue to receive the federal funding. But here in the last week, we just about lost it with what was going on at the federal level and the clawback effect. So I sent him a nice thank you email today and how much we appreciated his assistance with that. But he kept that list, or he kept that funding coming through for us. The other one was our intersection at Carson and 8587. We have a possible timeline for that. Their goal is to start the finalized engineering in August of this year, with construction of that intersection hopefully to begin next April. So in the CDOT world, that's actually a pretty quick timeline. So we're real happy with that. And then I've sent you all the updates that Jason Nelson gave after his presentation in some of your specific areas, and he's done a great job at getting his folks on those areas of concern. So right now, very happy with CDOT and some progress we're making on some projects. And go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, are they going to do anything with 85 going north in front of the shopping center?
With the potholes?
Yeah.
Yes, we've put that on there. We got an update that's on their list, and they're overwhelmed with their potholes this year, but it's on their list to get to it.
Goes all the way to Academy. It's a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think the email request we put in was from the Academy all the way down to Mesa Ridge Parkway.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and thank you again. You know, if anybody's listening, we did get concerns from people about the way the new roundabout on Fountain Mesa is draining. That is not a Cindy roundabout, but Todd has reached out to the county expressing our concerns at the drainage with that going on. So if you're concerned about that roundabout, please contact the county. Yes, not T. Evans at Fountain College. All right, okay. Troy?
Nothing for me tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Chief Graham?
Good evening. Good to see everybody. I think everybody's aware of our incident last night. Just a quick update. You know, that was a difficult set of circumstances we were up against. I think everybody saw it on social media. The rain was a blessing and a curse at the same time, with the muddy roads and muddy road conditions hindering our access to that fire. But also a blessing in that we've got green around that fire and we're not still chasing wildland fire, which we might have been a month ago. So big shout out to our South Group partners, especially Hanover Fire. They were rock stars last night to help us out. And a very special thank you to Fountain Streets Department. They were amazing. They came out, brought material to lay down on the road so that we could gain access a little better last night. But then also this morning, brought out some heavy equipment to assist us with our investigation, had to remove some of the roof that had fallen in and was unsafe for us to get our firemen in there to put out the last hot spots and also conduct the investigation. So a big thank you to Bob McDonald and his guys. Other than that, if there's no questions, that's all I have.
That's what we do in Fountain, right? Help each other out. Get it done. Chief?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a couple of quick things. I'll give my full department update. We're probably going to push that back to August. I wanted to be a little more prepared for you all so I could give a full update. But just a couple of quick things. Our traffic unit with Sergeant Davidson being added last week. We're now up to 4 traffic officers now, which is our fully staffed traffic unit. So look to have some good enforcement during the summer for all of the complaints that we know are going to come in. But we're already with Commander Racine being in charge of that unit, we're already up and running, getting ready to go with some good traffic enforcement. A lot of us got to meet our new K-9 Mako with Officer Ryder at Bark in the Park. I will bring him, when Brett's a little more comfortable with his new dual-purpose dog, we'll bring him in here and introduce him to everybody. It's going to be a great addition to the police department, though, to have a dual-purpose dog. And then last, we talked about it last week, the Beacon unit's up and running. She's in training right now, and as soon as she's a little bit more out of training and comfortable, we'll bring her in as well and introduce her to you all. Other than that, nothing else. Thank you, ma'am.
And we're continuing to advertise for a second Beacon person?
Yeah, and Commander Racine, I believe we've got one already in line, ready to go, and we're just waiting for her to get through the process. I don't know if it's a her. We're waiting for the person to get through the process with UC Health, and then she'll be down here as well.
Great, thank you. All right, IT?
Nothing tonight, Madam Mayor, thank you.
Okay, City Clerk?
Nothing for me, thank you.
All right. All righty, Councilmember Applegate?
Nothing tonight.
Councilmember Estes?
Just a big shout out to the new commander. Very wise choice. I think he's an excellent addition to this community, and what I've worked with him, he's fantastic. So that made my day to hear that. So congrats.
Yeah, it's exciting. Councilmember Hinton?
No, just to add on to what Scott said about, the community service, I really do appreciate those that came out, and most of them don't live in the city of Fountain. And they came out just to kind of want to help out and do some air beautification for the city of Fountain. So I truly appreciate all those that provided a day of service and just to give back and to do some sweat equity, which is always good for our youth. So thank you for the opportunity, Scott, and all the city staff members. Yeah.
Councilmember Corey?
I think we're rather blessed in this area, considering that, like you said, the circumstances that happened last night, Chief Graham, and that those other fire stations ran out and assisted us. That's awesome to hear that other trucks and other units were willing to help us last night. So congratulations to Commander Racine over there, and I'm excited for that rodeo next month.
Councilmember Rick?
Yes, Madam Mayor, several things. First, thanks to you, the council, and the city staff and the employees for putting on a great Memorial Day event. Lots of participation from the community. It was well organized and well run. Thank you very much. Bark in the Park, I want to thank Fountain Up and the city for putting that on. Kind of bad luck on the timing of the weather, but still appreciate all of their efforts. Adding on, congratulations to the fire department. Tough situation last night. Appreciate all of your efforts in keeping us safe. And finally, I got to go to the Mayor Yemi swearing in this morning. It was a nice ceremony. We look forward to try and forge better partnerships with the city of Colorado Springs. And that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Yep, a very nice ceremony, and they ordered good weather. So since they had the weatherman doing the MC, I guess there wasn't much choice, right? The farmers market is up and running at Metcalf Park on Saturday mornings, and I believe this is the first week this Saturday that the fruits and veggies come in. So get down there, and they've moved across to the gazebo area, and it's more spread out this year, and I think it's more vendors than ever. So they're doing a great job there if you have a chance to get out to that. So Sylvia, you don't have anything to say tonight, right?
Just good night.
Okay. All right, with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.